Hello students, let us begin with the discussion of the structure of human ovum. Before going to the structure, one very important point regarding the ovum is human ovum is alecithal. Alecithal. What do you mean by alecithal? If you take the example of birds and reptiles egg, it is megalecithal or polylecithal. That means the yolk present is very rich. They have large number of yolk. That means if you take the hen egg only, ಕೋಳಿ ಮೊಟ್ಟೆಯನ್ನೇ example ಆಗಿ ತಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, as the embryo grows inside that egg, later during the growth of the embryo, mother will not give anything to it, any food to it. That's why the egg has already reserved food, right, to nourish the growing embryo. That reserved food, what is there inside the egg of reptiles and birds, we call it as yolk. It is a nutritive food for the growth of the embryo. So this yolk is rich in reptilian and bird's egg. That's why their egg is called megalecithal athava polylecithal, whereas human egg is called alecithal. What do you mean by alecithal? It is without yolk. What is yolk? The nutritive food. Why human ova is alecithal? If that ovum gets fertilized, develop into zygote, zygote will grow into a human or a baby, right? That zygote or the embryo grows in the uterus of the mother. As it is connected to mother body, right? Mother constantly give the food to the growth of the embryo. That's why ತಾಯಿಯ ಭೂಮಿನ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬೆಳೆಯೋದ್ರಿಂದ, right, there is no need of any extra nutritive material as mother is giving the food to it. Human ova become what? Alecithal. If you look at the structure of the ovum, when try to understand, on middle of the menstrual cycle, that is on 14th day, Graafian follicle rupture and release secondary oocyte. Okay, ಈ secondary oocyte ಎಲ್ಲಿ reach ಆಗಿದೆ? Ampullary region, right? Sperm has started which process? Fertilization. But just before the completion of fertilization, what happened? Secondary oocyte transformed into ovum. That means it has divided into two unequal cell, a tiny cell called second polar body and a larger cell called what? Ovum. Now I am drawing this condition in the ampullary region. Try to understand. We are studying the structure of what? Ovum. Okay, assume this is the ovum and here is a tiny haploid cell. What is that called? Second polar body, which soon undergo degeneration, right? Let us focus only on the structure of ovum. Very simple. Now the ovum, like sperm, it is a cell, alva. So what is the outermost membrane of the cell called? Plasma membrane. The plasma membrane of the ova is called oolemma. Okay, plasma membrane of the ova is called oolemma. Cytoplasm of the ova is called ooplasm. What is it called? Cytoplasm or ooplasm. And what is this? It is the haploid nucleus of what? Ova. Next, it is covered by, I told you already, while at the time of release, it is not alone. ಕೇವಲ secondary oocyte release ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. It is still covered by which one? A glycoprotein layer, right? I will draw the which one? Imagine this is the glycoprotein layer. And what is that glycoprotein layer called? Zona pellucida. The glycoprotein layer covering the ovum, right? It is called zona pellucida. Okay, after that it is still covered by few layer of which one? Granulosa cells. Okay, You know the function of granulosa cell, which help in the nourishment by producing some fluid, and even they produce the female sex hormone called which one? Estrogen. The few layer of granulosa, try to understand, listen carefully, few layer of granulosa which are in contact with zona pellucida. Okay, you complete this. Okay, few layers of granulosa which are in contact with zona pellucida, these granulosa cell layer are called what? Corona radiata. Not that corona which made you to sit there and you are seeing me virtually through this, right, electronic gadgets. Corona means what? Actually the meaning of corona in biology, I might have told you already in my previous session. It is the crown like structure, a cap like structure alva around it, that is called what? Corona anta kariteve. So illi corona radiata andre enu? The granulosa cells which are covering the or in contact with the zona pellucida are called corona radiata. Can I call these granulosa as corona radiata? Yes. Can you see? These granulosa cells which are in contact with what? Zona pellucida are called what? Corona radiata. Note down the meaning of corona radiata. They are still present over the ovum for the purpose of what? Nourishment. This is the entire structure of ovum. And last point, in between plasma membrane of the ova, nothing but oolemma, and zona pellucida, can you see a small space? The space between, the gap between oolemma and zona pellucida is called perivitelline what? Cavity. Perivitelline cavity, or it is called perivitelline space, not vitelline membrane. Till today, if you go through few authors, they mention here a membrane called ovum ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು plasma membrane ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು membrane draw ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ and they label it as vitelline membrane ಅಂತ label ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Remember, vitelline membrane is not there in the human ovum. It is found in the reptilian ova, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ರಾಗಿನ ಓವಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. But we have a space called what? Perivitelline cavity. This is the structure of which one? Ova, which is very important for the study of fertilization. Is that clear? Followed by this, okay, we have to discuss in brief hormonal regulation of oogenesis. We discussed in the previous class hormonal regulation of spermatogenesis. How exactly the entire oogenesis is regulated by whom? Hormones. Very simple. The part of the brain called which one? Hypothalamus. After attaining puberty, it releases a hormone called GnRH, means gonadotrophin releasing hormone. This GnRH hormone stimulate the anterior pituitary of the female, In response to GnRH, anterior pituitary produces gonadotrophins. Right? It produces what? Gonadotrophins. And the two gonadotrophins produced are, what are the example for gonadotrophin? One is FSH, another one is which one? LH. The two gonadotrophins called FSH and LH are released through blood circulation. FSH and LH reach her ovary. Okay. Now, as both of them reach the ovary, try to understand, concept is very simple. Through blood circulation, both reach the ovary. FSH acts on the ovary and helps in, what are the functions of FSH. Once FSH act on ovary, FSH helps in the growth of these follicles, that is primary follicle to secondary follicle to tertiary follicle to Graafian follicle. Nothing but inside the ovary, it helps in point number 1, follicular transformation. Athava, what you can write? Growth of the follicle from primary follicle to Graafian follicle grow agbekadre yaudara influence very important? FSH, number 1. Number 2, FSH also stimulates the granulosa cells to produce the female sex hormone called which one? Estrogen. So under the influence of FSH, they produce more and more estrogen. The very important point in the study is, as follicles grow, as follicles transform, the number of granulosa cell every time what happens? Increases. The growing follicle produces more and more which hormone? Estrogen. Next video where I am going to discuss about menstrual cycle. Ali e point very important. Innome ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. As follicles grow, number of granulosa cell increases. Growing follicle produces more and more estrogen. As daily this follicle grows, ಅವಳ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಡೇ ಬೈ ಡೇ ಈಸ್ಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಕೂಡ ಅವಳ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಫಾಲಿಕಲ್ ಅಥವಾ ಗ್ರಾನ್ಯುಲೋಸಾ ಸೆಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್. ನೌ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ positive feedback. Okay, day by day the follicles grow. Please try to understand. In her blood, estrogen level also what happens? Increases. As estrogen level increases, it gives what kind of feedback? Positive feedback. To whom? Hypothalamus and anterior pituitary to release LH. Day by day, estrogen level in her blood increases. This estrogen increases, gives positive feedback. LH level also increases. ಹೆಚ್ಚೆಚ್ಚು LH production ಅವಳಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Estrogen increases, LH also increases. That is the function of which one? Estrogen. Now, what this LH will do? The LH will again through blood circulation reach the ovary and act on the ovary. It performs two functions. Number 1, it helps in what? Ovulation. As the excess amount of LH act on the Graafian follicle, the Graafian follicle will rupture to expel secondary oocyte by process called ovulation. Remember, ovulation agbeku andre Graafian follicle enagbeku? Rupture. For the rupturing of Graafian follicle, which hormone will help? LH. Number 2, LH also helps in the synthesis of pregnancy hormone called which one? Progesterone. Okay, daily as progesterone amount in her blood increases, this progesterone gives, right, it gives which feedback? Negative feedback. Estrogen gives positive feedback, but progesterone gives negative feedback to hypothalamus and anterior pituitary, and it inhibits the production of FSH. ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ. This is a appeared NEET question also. Very very important. In the female, in her blood, as progesterone level increases, progesterone ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದ ಹಾಗೆ, okay, the production of FSH what happens? Decreases. Progesterone increases, gives negative feedback. Production of FSH what happens? Decreases because it gives negative feedback. This is how these hormones regulate the process of oogenesis as well as menstrual cycle. And at last, at the end of this concept, we have to discuss the differences between spermatogenesis and oogenesis, which is a 3-mark question. Write any 3 differences between spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Can you recall few of them? Write down. Point number 1, in spermatogenesis, it is the process of formation of sperm inside the testis. What about here? It is the process of formation of ova in the ovary. Point number 2, spermatogenesis occur in close contact to Sertoli cell. Whereas here in the oogenesis process, the formation of ova is associated with yara ottige associate agide granulosa cell for the purpose of nourishment. I repeat point number 2. Spermatogenesis process is associated with Sertoli cell for the purpose of nourishment. Oogenesis process is associated with granulosa cell for the purpose of nourishment. Point number 3. Both meiosis 1 and meiosis 2 will complete within the seminiferous tubule of the testis, whereas here meiosis 1 complete in the ovary, meiosis 2 continue and complete in the ampullary region. I repeat, meiosis 1 complete in the ovary, meiosis 2 continue and complete in ampullary region. Next difference, the daughter cells formed are equal sized. Right now, in case of spermatogenesis, daughter cells formed are what? Unequal size. These are the few differences. At least they will ask you for 3 mark. Make a column of it, a chart of it.